So let's look briefly at my rewrite of the ending of season 1, episode 5. Basically, the ending is a little bit unsatisfying because they build up this informant character as being so capable that he gets to jump on Tony. You know, he circles back to the hotel and he's about to kill him, so he could have done it, but then he feels bad because Meadows with him, whatever. So the game theory way to show that is that this guy is more capable than Tony, or he's at least highly capable, right? So that sets up a good rivalry between them where they're kind of both after each other the whole episode. It's a really good episode. But the problem is the ending is a little bit undesirable because how does Tony ultimately catch this guy who's highly capable and who's got the jump on him before? Oh, he just sneaks around, even though he's a big, chubby man. And he sneaks around and just gets him and just chokes him. Like, that's it. There's nothing earned. It should have been more like this guy sets up a trap, right? The informant character. He sets up a trap and Tony thinks he has him, but oh no, he's actually outwitted. Like, he leaves the door open and thinks that, oh, I'm going to sneak up on him. But then he's waiting around the side of the door with a gun and he has Tony at gunpoint. Then a plot point that's very game theory friendly that they set up, like, Tony did the best he could. This guy did the best he could, and he got the jump on him again, which shows you the same theme. Like what happened earlier in the episode that Tony goes to his house and is sneaking around. That was Tony's one chance to kill this guy because he's highly capable, and he doesn't do it because he hears the wife or the dog, or he doesn't have the guts to do it. So because of that moment, now that guy, the informant, strikes back and catches Tony at his hotel. He sees the car leaving. He does some research around town, and he finds out where Tony's living. So in other words, he gets the second strike. So Tony had one chance to finish him off. He missed it. Now this guy would come back and kill him at the hotel, and that would be it. So it's to show you that this guy is more capable, and so therefore he would trick Tony at the end again. The door is open. He catches him around the side. So now Tony's held at gunpoint. So the one good game theory explanation is the only way for Tony to beat this highly capable guy is to have somebody else help him. And even though he's on the phone throughout the episode, almost like they were setting it up, and I don't know why they didn't have the nerve to do it. It would have been a great character developing moment. Maybe it's too much too early, but he's talking to Chris on the phone and explaining, do some research into this guy. He's telling him what's going on, right? And he took out 13 of our guys. He said something like that. I don't know if that meant like he physically killed them, like as a member of the mafia himself, or if it means that he just simply turned them in and got them in trouble. But either way, he's built up to be a highly capable, established character. And so Chris is saying, oh, I'll come, I'll help you. And Tony even says, oh, no, you can't handle a guy like this. So, but then neither can Tony necessarily either. So even though he says, don't come to Chris, Chris doesn't follow his advice and comes anyway, right? He says, I've already booked the ticket. I've already booked the flight. So Chris heads there. So they set that up by simply having that phone call, right? We as the audience think, okay, Tony's telling him not to come, so he's not going to come, and that's it. But he was trying to help. But then at the last moment where Tony's held at gunpoint and about to be killed by this guy, right, mockingly, and I wrote some dialogue too. I won't go into that. Like what he's saying that, oh, you're supposed to be the boss, huh? Right, at this point, back in my day, you guys always had bodyguards, as if chiding him, the informant saying this to Tony. What, is business that bad? You can't even afford a bodyguard? It was some stuff like that. And then Chris would come up from behind and shoot him and say, like, well, something along the lines of he's cheap, or he doesn't pay much, he doesn't pay well. I'm not picky, I'm not, I don't do it for the money, stuff like that. But because he's been complaining that he doesn't get paid enough anyway. So Chris comes and saves Tony. That would be necessary to beat a highly capable character like that. So it pays respects to all the characters involved. Chris comes on his own, right? That's a great moment of development and bonding towards them. And it allows you to see that, again, it would have taken that to beat him, and it would have been like something they set up earlier that even though Tony tells him not to come, he comes anyway. So the ending is basically still the same. The character dies, but it's just a great way to give purpose to those scenes of them talking on the phone and telling him not to come and building this character up, that he's so capable. You got to be careful with a guy like this, right? That Tony doesn't realize that he's out of his depth too, and it sets up just a really memorable character that is memorable anyway. But again, the ending doesn't change. I just think that's a better way to qualify and explain it, and it's just better.